1, 2, 3, 4. I did the Kickstart contest half an hour ago. Now it's 50 seconds till biweekly LeetCode Contest. Just as with Kickstart, I'm going to talk now for that 40 seconds period, but then I'm turning off my microphone just to focus on the contest and try to win. Yes. If I make some notes on a piece of paper, I will then show you what I wrote there, but well, for easy problems, sometimes I will write nothing. I will just try to optimize the speed. Oh, do I need some templates? I have something here. No, I will not need that. Okay, I'm turning the microphone off. Wish me good luck. Oh, this is Kamil from the future. After the contest, I already know the results, but I'm not going to spoil them to you. And you already saw my first fail and now my second fail. The first one was that instead of just turning off my audio in OBS, I turned off the recording. So you will see a quick cut there. Only then I turned the recording back on, then turned off the audio. But you know, I panicked for a few seconds what I'm doing at all. The second mistake was not being registered to a contest. Here we have the first problem that, as you can see, I figured out a solution quickly, or maybe this is a wrong solution. The problem is about finding a difference. There was an arithmetic progression with some fixed difference, like 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and then somebody removed one number. My solution is to take the difference between last and first element, from that get the difference between two consecutive elements, and use that to figure out where is the missing element, because it isn't equal to the previous one plus something. But my code was not correct. You can scroll back by 5 seconds now, or 15 seconds, and try to figure out a mistake. Here we have already a second problem, meeting scheduler. We are given two sets of intervals, and we want to find some common duration for them, some interval of length duration. Also, only at that moment I realized that I have headphones on, what isn't necessary during a contest. First, I thought that we need to find the longest intersection, by the way, and I started coding that. This is why you see a pair of int vector best. I wanted to iterate with 2 pointers through those two arrays and find the longest intersection, only then realize there is something like duration in the input. I think I rushed too much during this contest. It was my first LeetCode contest. I knew that the winner would have very low time, like 15 minutes, maybe less. So I knew I don't have time to read the statement carefully. Maybe it wasn't a good option, or maybe it was. You know, every second counts, or every minute counts. So still here, I didn't realize that there is duration in the input. Also, you can see in constraints that there is something like slots 1 of I0 smaller than slots 1 of I1. This means that every interval is non-empty. But later, when I considered sorting intervals, I've misread this constraint. I thought that they are sorted. That this means that every interval is on the left from the next one. And I was stupid to look at that instead of just sorting. I thought that, okay, if I don't need to sort, I shouldn't sort. And that costed me here a wrong submission, sadly. Oh yeah, I'm wasting some time. Oh, I already have duration, so now I'm not wasting time. That's cool. I already removed per int vector best. Not removed, well, it's better to make a comment in program. You can see that I'm writing something, and I think it's just that. What you see now in the top, this is what I wrote, just to compare when I need to move which pointer to the right. Because that wasn't like, obvious for me without the drawing. in this contest, at least I was smart enough to open all the problems at once and not to look at the leaderboard. Before I finished all problems, I didn't look at the leaderboard at all. And I'm happy about it, of course. Here, instead of just iterating over element of slots 1, I created a pointer I to be able to move it back. I will need minus minus I. By the way, this is not a perfect implementation of 2 pointers. Don't try to copy that. If we don't find the answer, we should return an empty vector. Now, as you can see, I don't waste time. After hitting run code and just waiting, I clicked the first problem to see if it passes. Then at least I knew, yeah, it didn't pass. But here I'm more focused on the second problem because this is the one that I was doing seconds ago. Here, because I got wrong answer in the first one, I thought that, okay, maybe it's better to test all the samples. What sadly in LeetCode requires copying them by hand, what is very strange and not pleasant. Also because I need to scroll. I think I saw in LeetCode usually editor on the right. I want that. Maybe there is an option like that. I see top right from editor, there are some buttons. Maybe I should have clicked something there in order to see editor on the right. It would help a lot. Right now it's terrible that I need to scroll back and forth. I have some mistake here and that was very hard for me to analyze. I looked at this code and yeah, I even wrote down in a comment, this should happen if minus 1. I simulated this code line by line. It was very, very hard for me to understand what is wrong. I added some print to understand if should is indeed -1 for this test. If you know C++ well, you should understand already the mistake. It's in line 4, so the first line of main. At the end of this video, like after I'm done with the contest, the past Camille talks about mistakes and he talks more about what happened here. Maybe you can see in my face, in old Camille's face, the realization that something is wrong when it will happen. Should be in seconds. Let's wait for it. I'm also looking, I didn't watch the video before. Okay, so that face of realization a mistake wasn't really interesting. It was like, okay. Yeah, I had an unsigned int. And if you divide a negative number but I signed something bad happens. The negative number is casted to an unsigned, which is huge, int max minus something. But I guess we see from my face that I'm focusing on problems. Again, after submitting, I immediately went for another problem. This one was very easy and standard. I'm actually surprised that it isn't on LeetCode already, if they have more than 1,000 problems. I wonder if by mistake they sometimes post the same problem. Is there a person that remembers all the problems in LeetCode, even among the organizers, administrators? It's one thing to solve all the problems. That's possible. You just need to spend a lot of time. But did it ever happen that a problem appeared again, I wonder? Okay, I submitted something there. I think it passed. And I'm looking at the last problem. At that point, I'm not sure if we know the results in first 3. Did we see any accepted so far? I think not. A moment ago, I fixed A, then went for C, those strange coins. In the top, you can see tabs. There's contest and then problems A, B, C, D. So now we are in the last problem D. But I didn't want to waste time to look at other tabs. You should just submit. And then instead of waiting 5 seconds, just read another problem, unless you expect something to fail. But Oh, C is accepted. I don't know why it took me so much time to solve this last problem. I'm thinking. When I'm thinking, I am often doing something with my face, like, you know, just, how do you call it? You know, to put a hand below your face. I figured out that it's likely binary search, but at this moment I didn't yet know what exactly it should be. I knew that we binary search the answer, then I count intervals, that the number of intervals that would get for this answer, and I compared that with k. But later it took me several minutes to figure out exactly details. Do I compare by comparing, you know, smaller than, greater than? I'm not. This is again a moment where I rushed too much, I think. If that was a 5-hour competition with harder problems as well, I would spend a bit more time on such an easy problem, but I would be more certain about my solution. I would, after coding, I would likely get accepted first time. I'm not saying that I didn't here. We'll see. But I can tell you that it didn't work just immediately. In my code, I binary search, so low and high are, you know, borders for binary search. I think it's incorrect above there to put low as maximum of low x, but it came from some wrong approach to binary search itself, so never mind. Mid is that middle element that is possible answer, and then I want to count the number of intervals that would be used if this was the answer. I iterate over things. Here I did something wrong, that is, as long as the current sum of interval doesn't exceed mid, then extend. But I should do extend while the sum is too small, because I want to see if this is the lower bound for the sum in interval, then how many intervals do we need? And now I wasted another minutes because I needed to scroll up and down, up and down. So now we are, what, around 12 minutes in. And if I had a good day, I think that would be the end of the contest. Because, you know, I finished the coding. Also, already I wasted some time by correcting the previous problem. I think it was A. Now, this scrolling was very annoying. Well, as I was fixing this problem, I thought several times, oh, this scrolling is so annoying. I like to see, you know, everything on one screen. That would be statement on the left, code on the right usually. You can add some prints. Just remember, when you want to implement a function and you're adding some prints, you shouldn't add too many of them, because that could cause time limit exceeded. But here I knew that it's only logarithm. In some other problem, either I already did or I will do that only if something is smaller than 10, then print it, because I was worried that printing a linear number of integers will cause time limit exceeded, because, you know, printing takes time. Actually, more time than normal simple operations like add two numbers. It's especially slow if you use flashing. If you use cout, then smaller endl, that flashes the output, what is very slow in C++. And I'm quite sure that printing 1 million things with flashing would cause time limit exceeded, because it needs, I don't know, 5 seconds, maybe more. I guess depends on the computer. Oh, and here I wasted even more time, because I added printing, what prints around 30 numbers for each test, and then I need to scroll much longer. Maybe this is the moment where I realize that something is wrong here. No. I'm looking at the condition. Oh, now, don't do what I'm doing here, where I randomly changed an if condition. This is a rookie mistake. Oh, but the while condition is now fixed. Oh, so what I did 2 minutes ago was a rookie mistake. Now I did a good correction. Still not fully understanding what is wrong. I think the lower boundary of binary search is incorrect. This is why answers are too big. It came from that first solution that needed that. If I want some upper bound for sums in intervals, then if there is number 9, it means that upper bound needs to be at least 9, but now it spoils the answer. Because of that, unfortunately, I wasted even more time because of a mistake. Is it correct now? It should be what, 615? Let's hope for 615. Yes, it is 615. Submit. Oh, now I expected that everything passes already, but it's not true. Now I see a mistake in C. This mistake comes from not sorting intervals, but I don't know that yet. And I will waste some more time with C in the future. Sorry, B. This is B. C was easy dynamic programming with probability. And here, in a few minutes, I should add sorting. I already lost the contest because I'm both too slow plus too many wrong submissions. In LeetCode, every wrong submission costs 5 minutes. I was aware of that, but I didn't want to be in the top. I wanted to maximize chance of winning, of getting the first place. And I understood the risk. This is why I didn't test so much. I was quick to submit. I didn't read the statement carefully. Maybe next time I will be just slightly more cautious, careful. And the past Camille should finish in a moment, so I will be finishing this commentary. Let me know in comments if this is a good format. For sure, I don't want to talk while I'm solving a contest, while I'm participating, because that would slow me down. And then the question is, should I just, post whatever I have after the contest, or just like here add some commentary from the future? Because what you can always do is just turn off the sound and have the experience of not having this commentary. This is why when I got this idea today of making a commentary as an extra, I was very happy about it. Plus, it's quite easy to do. What I'm doing right now is I'm watching a video that you're watching as well, just without this audio. I'm talking over that and recording it. And in a moment when I'm done, I will add that in some editing software to combine it. Oh yeah, here I have that if I and J are up to 10, because I was worried I would print too much. You can see that a few times I will look at those constraints. Maybe I already did. I even clicked on that, but I just misunderstood them. So I'm signing off. Of course, if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to edit this now. And then in half an hour, I have a stream after LeetCode and Kickstart. Good luck to past Camille with finding a mistake. That wasn't my best contest ever. Why am I... What does it mean that I'm here 32nd and here 12? Also, I need to choose my country. It took me 20 minutes plus a lot of wrong submissions. The best time was, okay, so here 17, also 13 plus also wrong submission. What I did wrong is here I got a very unusual bug in C++ that took me a few minutes to realize that if I divide a negative number by an unsigned int, then it overflows. It doesn't do what I would expect it to do. I think the issue is that I'm used to having n. I should in the future always create something like that. By the way, do I have any? Oh, all my notes look like this. So the first one and the last one is about the intervals problem, and what you see in the middle is when I thought the problem with binary search. I wondered if two intervals here would be too few or too many, something like that. Yeah, if I had n, this wouldn't happen. So maybe a lesson for me in the future: always create n as the first line. I will keep that in mind. Plus, I had one wrong submission here just because I didn't bother to copy this into test cases. What, by the way, is strange that the run code runs only the first sample test. But I was aware of that. It's my mistake. Then here it was just a standard bug where I didn't predict a corner case where all numbers are equal. I here wanted to hack by figure out what is the difference and which number doesn't match the others. Here I've misread this condition and wasted some time because of that. I knew that I could sort, but here I thought that this means every next interval is more to the right than the previous one. But obviously this just compares start and end of the same interval. This is trivial, just 1 minute. And here, for some reason, first I wasn't convinced what to do here and whether binary search works. Then I got confused and here used some greater equal rather than smaller. Yeah, so I also felt the pressure of time. I wanted to win, and instead of thinking for 10 more seconds, I started coding something unnecessary. I must keep that in mind in the future. How does the leaderboard look like? What is that? CM? 2030, yeah, that's not a nice score. What, top 30? Maybe at least my problems in Kickstart will pass. Then I'm further there. Here, nothing interesting. I will, of course, upload this to YouTube, but it's some lesson. 1 incorrect attempts. It's my first LeetCode contest. I can only be better in the future. And congratulations to Alex for winning. I guess that's it. The video will be 25 minutes long. This ends in an hour, I guess. So I think it's enough time for me to edit this video, add some words of some commentary over me competing, and I will just upload it to YouTube at the moment when contest ends, which is what, 1 hour, I guess. It's hour 30. Yeah, 1 more hour, that should be enough. Maybe just after the contest ends, it will already be on YouTube. Okay. Maybe I will win in 2 weeks. Win. Top 3 would be nice. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from my mistakes. See you all.